Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about right versus left brain dominance. Now, right versus left brain dominance is the idea that someone is either left brained or seen as more logical and analytic and better at math and science, or right brained and more creative and artistic and better at English or art. Now, raise your hand if you would see yourself as more left brained. Now raise your hand if you would see yourself as more right brained. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think I might have just tricked a couple of you. This is because the idea of being right or left brained is seen as a neuromyth. Now, I know that that word sounds big and scary, but when we chop it up, it becomes a lot easier to understand. So, the first part of our new little chopped up word is going to be neuro. And neuro means relating to the nerve and nervous system. So, think about the brain and the spinal cord. Something that I like to think of when I think about the word neuro is a doctor called a neurologist, because when I think neurologist, I think fancy brain surgeon, which really kind of helps show the link between neuro and nervous system. And then myth. This one might be a little bit easier because I'm sure you guys have heard of Greek myths or maybe even mythical creatures in school. Now, a myth is a widely held but false belief or idea. So when we think about a mythical creature, we could think about maybe unicorns or even something scary like a werewolf. Now, although a lot of people believe in unicorns or werewolves, as far as we can tell, we have not found any evidence that werewolves or unicorns are real. So, right now, they're a myth. Now, when we take these two chopped up words and stick them together, we get a neuromyth, or a false belief about the nerve and nervous system. Now, how did this neuromyth start about right versus left brains? We believe it began in the 1960s after research on split brain patients. Now, split brain is probably another vocab word that we have not heard of, but it's actually pretty simple. So, think about your own brain and how just in a nice, beautiful, kind of almost circular shape. Now, imagine you're a neurologist and you're taking a little knife, maybe a scalpel, and you're cutting that brain in half. You're splitting it. Now, in between those left and right hemispheres is something called the corpus callosum. And although in this picture it just looks pretty tiny, it's actually very, very important and helps both the left and right brains talk to each other. Now, this idea of left versus right brain really kind of showed up in these split brain patients because without that corpus callosum, either the left or the right brain had to work on their own, meaning that one would be more dominant than the other. But now we know that this is not true because research has shown that although certain functions might be more lateralized, meaning focused on maybe a specific region of the brain in the left or the right hemisphere, most of the time both hemispheres work together to solve problems or to do things like read or write or talk like I'm talking to you right now. Now, why do we care? Why am I spending my time talking about this? Now, let's think back to what you said about whether or not you thought you were left or right brained. Now, if you were right brained and you thought that you were just naturally good at art and then you're just going to be naturally terrible at math, why would you care about math? Why would you start taking science classes? If you feel like your brain is naturally going to be bad at it, why would you try so hard to learn it? Things like that are really important and are why I'm really working hard to try and fix this lie that we've all been told. So even if BuzzFeed tells you that you're left brain dominant or right brain dominant, you can say now that that's a neuromyth and that they're wrong because both of your hemispheres are working together to help you function. And last but not least is my works cited. So if you're looking to learn any more information about this neuromyth, please take a look at all of these links. They're fantastic and learn some more about it because it's super interesting. Thank you so much. I hope you have a fantastic day.